So let's talk about AI. It's a technology that's moving at a speed that is, well, just breathtaking. It's promising these incredible futures while at the same time sparking some very real and very deep concerns. So how do we even begin to navigate all this? Well, we're going to dive into the key ideas from the book Let's Talk AI to get right to the heart of this huge global conversation. Okay, take a look at this image. It really captures the core conflict we're facing, doesn't it? At first, you see this kind of peaceful, collaborative vision between humans and AI. But the longer you look at it, you start to feel this little bit of unease, right? So is this a hopeful glimpse into the future, or is it a quiet warning? That tension, that duality, that's exactly what even the top experts are wrestling with right now. And that tension leads us straight to this massive question. And look, this isn't just some dramatic headline for clicks. It's a genuine fear, a fear that's being voiced by the very people who are closest to this technology. The real worry is that things are developing so unbelievably fast that we're actually outpacing our own ability to understand, let alone control what we've built. So why all the urgency? You hear skeptics say, oh, we've had big innovations before, like the printing press or the calculator, but this time is fundamentally different. We are not just dealing with a new tool, we are dealing with an entirely new category of technology. Here's the crucial distinction, right here. Think about it. Older tech, it was made for one job. A printing press was built to print. We knew exactly what it could do, what its limits were, and it certainly didn't do anything on its own. But modern AI, whoa, it's a whole different animal. It's a general-purpose technology, meaning it can adapt, it can learn, and, this is key, it can develop surprising new skills, these emergent abilities that even its own creators never saw coming. This difference really comes down to three things. First, just its raw power. AI can sift through data and spot patterns on a scale that is it's beyond what any human brain can do. Second, its versatility. This stuff isn't just for one thing. It's popping up everywhere, from discovering new medicines to trading on Wall Street to creating art. And third, and this is the big one, autonomy. It can operate and make its own decisions, often in ways that are like a black box, even to the people who designed it. So you think that for a technology this powerful and this new, the people who built it would all be on the same page about what to do with it, right? Well, nope, not even close. In fact, there is a huge, profound disagreement right at the very heart of the field. And we're not talking about just any observers here. We're talking about the godfathers of AI, people like Yann LeCun, Geoffrey Hinton, and Yoshua Bengio. These guys literally shared the Turing Award, which is like the Nobel Prize for computing, for their work. And they have painted dramatically different pictures of the future. One says AI is a tool we can control to help humanity, while another has gone on record warning it could pose an existential threat. The pioneers themselves are totally divided. So this quote really captures that cautious perspective. The fear isn't that AI is going to wake up one day and be evil. It's that the race to build it is just so competitive that we're forgetting to install the guardrails. The main concern here is that we could hit a point of no return, a point where we just can't hit the brakes anymore. And then on the other side of the debate, you have this viewpoint. This frames AI as an incredibly powerful but ultimately controllable tool, kind of like a super assistant that can make us all better at what we do. The belief here is that if we get the rules right and keep humans in the loop, we can absolutely steer this thing for good. Now, this big, high-level debate, it's not just something happening in an ivory tower. It actually trickles all the way down and creates this really fascinating contradiction in how we, you and me, actually interact with AI every day. It's something we can call the trust paradox. All right, so first, let's just look at what we do. A survey of experts from all different fields found that a huge majority, over 63%, are using AI applications often, or get this, always. It's already woven deep into our professional lives. We're adopting it like crazy. But now, here's the other side of the coin. Of those exact same people, more than 61% said they disagree with the statement, "I trust AI applications." Just let that sink in for a moment. We use it all the time, but we don't fundamentally trust it. That shows a massive, kind of unsettling gap between how useful it is and how much confidence we have in it. Okay, so let's recap. We've got this incredibly powerful tech that we don't fully understand, the creators themselves can't agree on its future, and the public is using it without really trusting it. So where do we possibly go from here? Well, it seems the only way forward is to go together. And this right here is probably the most crucial point of all. We absolutely cannot treat the challenges of AI like they're just engineering problems. This isn't about writing cleaner code or building a bigger server farm. No way. The questions AI is forcing us to ask are about what it means to be human. They're about ethics, they're about society, and they demand a much broader conversation. The proposed solution has a name. It's called interdisciplinarity. Now, it sounds a little academic, I know, but the idea is actually super simple. It's the belief that for a problem this complex, the only way to solve it is to get experts from wildly different fields to sit at the same table, learn to speak each other's language, and start to see the whole picture. And we're not talking about a vague idea here. We mean you need lawyers in the room to talk about accountability. You need psychologists to understand how we trust machines. You need philosophers to help define our ethics. Of course, you need computer scientists. But you also need neuroscientists, business leaders, and heck, maybe even science fiction authors to help imagine what's coming next. Every single one holds a critical piece of the puzzle.
The core message is crystal clear. This isn't just a friendly suggestion. It's being framed as an absolute necessity. Interdisciplinary collaboration is essential to fully understand and responsibly advance AI technologies. Without that, we risk building this amazing technology in a bubble, completely blind to how it will actually affect society until it's way too late.
And the scale of this effort is pretty significant. The book itself actually practices what it preaches. It brings together the distilled wisdom from over 30 different expert interviews. It's literally an attempt to model the very conversation it's calling for. And that really is the big takeaway. Look, nobody has all the answers. The technology is just moving too fast for that. But the hopeful view is that maybe, just maybe, for the first time, we're starting to ask the right questions. And we're not just asking them as engineers, but as a whole society. And that's where the conversation gets turned over to all of us. This massive global dialogue about AI, it isn't happening in some far-off lab anymore. It's happening right now, and it involves every single one of us. The future of AI isn't written yet. So the real question is, what are we all going to decide to write together?